The or no the? Do you know when and when not to use the definite article? Are you sure? If you have any doubts, stick around because after the intro, that's exactly what I'm going to get into.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Hey, how's it going? If you're new to my channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Mr. Finn. I'm an American English teacher who's been living out here in Brazil for the last 11 years, graduated in English, and for the last 10 years I've been teaching English inside and outside the classroom. And I'm here to do my very best to make you better. And today I want to get into the definite article the, when to use it and when you don't use it. All right? But first, how about a little trivia? Do you know the difference between the words hot and heat? If you're not sure, stick around to the end of the video where I'm going to give you the answer. Now, when do we use the and when don't we use this the? So let's focus on this. Okay, so the is the definite article, and we're going to use this word when we know or it's clear to everybody what it is we're talking about. Okay? So, for example, can you tell me the name of this street? Or the name of this plant? Or can you give me the time? You see? So it's clear exactly what we're talking about. And then also, I mentioned in the video that I did about articles, the second time we talk about or we mention something, we're going to use the. Like, right? Let's say a common joke. A man walks into a bar. The man said to the barman, so we already referred to such man, so now it's the, and then there's only one barman, so we use the. Okay? Now, another reason we're going to use this the is if the thing we're talking about is unique or one of its kind. So for example, the sun and the moon and the stars, right? The internet, the world, the earth, the sky, things like that. They're unique to its kind. Now, some of these, depending on the context, you're not going to use the. So let's look at earth, for example. We say the earth. We live on the earth. This is the earth. Okay? But if we refer to earth as just a typical planet in the universe, like Mars or Jupiter, then it's not going to be the, right? For example, which is the closest planet to Earth? You see? Another thing, like the sea. We're going to talk about the sea. I would love to live by the sea. But if we're referring to like a voyage, right? I'm at sea, or I'm going to be at sea. So then we don't use the. And then also like space. If we're talking about space in the context of the universe, we're not going to say the space, okay? It's because it's just space. And when we use space in general, but if we're being specific, like, look at all the space I have here. Or the space I was referring to is right over there. You see? So in that context, we're being more specific. Does that make sense? Now, we're also going to use the when we refer to places in town or in the city. So the bank, the gas station, the post office, the movie theater, or the cinema, as the British will say, the petrol station, as the British will say. But these places that are universal for everybody, it's the, okay? But if what it is we're talking about is unique to the individual, it's not going to be the. So we don't say the work. It's my work, it's your work, I'm going to work. Or home, or house, it's my house or your house. We're not going to say the, okay? School, you know, there's lots of schools and it depends on the individual. There's kindergarten, primary school, elementary school, junior high, middle school, high school, college, university. It's no the, okay? So when it's unique to the individual, we don't say the. We don't say the for church, right? We have evangelical church, we have Catholic church mass, we have temple for Jews, mosque for Muslims. So we don't say the, because it's unique to the individual. It's not, you know, universal for everybody. If the thing we're talking about is universal to everybody, okay, the beach, the park, places like that. Make sense? Okay. Also, dealing with groups, okay, we're going to use the specifically if we're going to identify something unique within a group. So, if I talk about like the giraffe is the tallest animal, I'm not talking about a particular giraffe. I'm talking about that group of animals within the group of animals. The elephant is the largest, the biggest animal. The rhino is probably the toughest or the strongest, okay? You see? Also, dealing with this, you got to understand that you're going to use the with the superlatives. The best, the biggest, the tallest, the most expensive, the craziest. Mr. Finn's classes are the best, okay? Now, when you're using the most, right, it's superlative. There's nothing unique, but be careful. If you're going to talk about a group, you're going to say most of the, not the most of the people like this. Most of the people prefer that. Most of the English YouTube channels I've seen are indoors, but Mr. Finn likes to be in the environment. It's unique in nature, in general, but in the environment, right? Awesome. You're also going to use the with adjectives if you mean that adjective as a group. The young, the old, the elderly. The rich, the poor, the homeless. The sick, the injured, the dead. You see, each one of those words is an adjective, but I'm referring to it as a group. So we use it with the. Groups of families as one family. So the Finns, the Smiths, the Browns. So out of all the people, it's this group of people, right? Same thing like nationalities. The Chinese, the Japanese, the Americans, the British, the Brazilian. You see, out of all the people in the world, out of all the people on earth, we don't say, or we're going to say the because we're identifying a specific group out of all of the people. Make sense? In talking about these nationalities, let's look at countries. Countries do not use the unless the country represents a group. So you don't say the America, but you say the United States of America, the United States, the US, the USA. That you're going to use the. You don't say the England or the Ireland, but you say the United Kingdom. Okay? You don't say the Germany, the France. You don't say it doesn't exist, but you'll say the European Union, the United Emirates. The former USSR, the USSR. Now it's Russia. You don't say the Russia, but back in the 80s, you said the USSR. All right? So if the country represents a group, you're going to use the. Okay? And then finally, I think what's important for you to remember is if you're going to be specific about a location, so the north or the south. Where I live, I'm in the northeast of Brazil. All right? On a piece of paper, write your name at the top, sign it at the bottom. Okay, and talking about these specific locations, some names of places are going to have the, like the Federal Reserve, right? And if we use of in the name, it's going to have the, like the University of Cambridge, the University of Oxford, the Museum of Modern Art, places like that. But not all places. All right, and it's important to know these things. Like you don't say the Central Park, it's just Central Park. All right. Now, when don't we use the? So if we talk about meals in general, we don't use the. So it's like, what time did you eat breakfast? Or do you have lunch every day? What do you usually have for dinner? Do you like dessert? You see, we're not going to use the unless we're being specific. So the breakfast I had today was amazing. Or the lunch I typically enjoy is this, that, or the other thing. You understand? So unless we're being specific, there's no the. All right? And then finally, another time where we're not going to use the is if we have a noun with the number. So like if you want to catch the train, you got to go to platform 5. Or the flight you're looking for, right? Specific is at gate 5. Or do you have this shoe in a size 12? You see, so when you have the noun and the number, there's not going to be a the. All right? So that's that's basically it. Those are some really important guidelines that can help you to know when you're gonna use the or when you're not gonna use the. All right? Now, what's the answer to Mr. Finn's trivia? So, heat and hot. Hot and heat. What's the difference? Heat is the noun and hot is the adjective. So you feel the heat, but today is hot. The food is hot. Be careful. Can you feel the heat? Can you see the heat coming off of it? Make sense? Great. Guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support me, share this content. Make sure you subscribe. If you do subscribe, press that bell for notifications so you're notified when I release a new video. Every Tuesday, I release a new tongue twister to help you with pronunciation, all right? I'm here to do my best to make you better. Let me tell you something. English, like anything else, needs practice. So get out there and practice your English, all right? I'm Mr. Finn, and I'll see you in the next video.